Okay, today I want to talk about AI and the urgency that a lot of people are feeling about how AI is going to affect their job or their career. And I know this because I talk to people all the time, people in their 20s, all the way through their 60s, and everybody's rattled by it, and everybody wants to know how to bulletproof their career against AI. And it's good that you feel some degree of urgency about that because AI is not coming for your job someday. It is already here. But if you think that your technical expertise is going to keep you safe, that it's going to bulletproof yourself against AI, think again. There's really only one skill that can make you truly irreplaceable in the AI era. And it's something that employers are already clamoring for, and it's something that we talk about here on this channel all the time: emotional intelligence. And we're going to talk about how to start building emotional intelligence so that you can bulletproof your career against AI. So yeah, in 2025, we're not talking about the future of work anymore. We're already living it. In fact, this past week in the Wall Street Journal, an opinion columnist by the name of Peggy Noonan wrote an article about this. And I'm not going to read the entire article, although it's well worth your read. But I do want to read just this one part. She said, this summer, the knowledge settled in about where we are with artificial intelligence. Almost everyone is rattled by the speed of its development. The story is no longer AI in coming decades will take a lot of jobs, or AI will take jobs sooner than we think. The story is AI is here and a quiet havoc has begun. I'll include the link below because, again, I think the article is well worth your read. But in this article, she references a very important paper that was written earlier this year called AI 2027. And this paper was written by some of the leading people in research. Like, these people aren't, someone's crazy uncle on a compound in Montana who's warning that the end of the world is coming because of AI or something. It's not like that. They said, we predict that the impact of superhuman AI over the next decade will be enormous, exceeding that of the Industrial Revolution. Now, you really do need to read the whole paper, but that line, that this is going to exceed the impact of the Industrial Revolution, is what caught my attention, because most of you probably know that the Industrial Revolution changed the entire world economy, and they're saying that this is going to be bigger than that. And companies are already pausing hiring for thousands of jobs. I read the other day that Mark Benioff, who's the CEO of Salesforce, said that they've stopped hiring for roles like customer service agents and engineers and even lawyers. And he was at a conference in Geneva, Switzerland, I think. And he said that by the end of 2025, Salesforce is going to look very different than it did at the beginning of 2025 because of AI. There's a company in the UK called the BT Group, and I read this a couple years ago. They said that they were going to cut 10,000 roles for AI. Well, I read just a month or so ago that the CEO said that she thinks the cuts are going to be even sharper than that. But here's the surprising part. While certain roles are disappearing, other roles are thriving. And the difference isn't about technical ability, it's about the ability to connect with people. AI is already faster, cheaper, and in many cases more accurate than human beings, especially when it comes to things like processing data and generating reports and even creative tasks like writing and design. But here's the good news. Machines can process information, but they cannot read a room. They can't read people. They can't earn trust. They don't understand why people do what they do. They can't connect with them. They can't inspire people to follow them. I remember reading a story about how the Marriott hotel chain didn't collapse during COVID. And part of the reason for that, they said, was that the CEO saw that the people around him were experiencing enormous amounts of fear and they were very worried. And so he talked to them personally with vulnerability and empathy. AI can't do that kind of thing. AI can produce corporate statements, but it can't read the fear and the uncertainty on the faces of people and then speak to that and empathize with it. Only a human being with emotional intelligence can do that. And then there's also this story about another CEO that felt like he was losing the trust of the people in his company. And so what he did was he decided, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write a thank you note every day to somebody in the company to express to them how grateful I am for their contribution. Now, again, that's not something AI could do. It can't and it wouldn't do that. If you received a thank you note from AI, you'd think it was an automated process. But if you receive a thank you note from a person, it makes an enormous difference, doesn't it? You've probably experienced that before. If you have, tell me about it in the comment section below. But if you ignore this shift, you risk becoming replaceable, no matter how technically proficient you are. But if you lean into this, you can thrive in a world where AI handles the data and you handle what's human. So where do you start to build emotional intelligence? Well, let me give you 4 things that you can do to start. The first is active listening. Don't just hear people, listen to understand what they have to say. Summarize what you've heard before responding. Studies show that active listeners resolve conflicts like 70 times more effectively than anybody else does. Second is reading emotional cues. Pay attention to tone and to body language and to people's micro expressions. That can prevent all sorts of misunderstandings before they can escalate. And the third is building authentic relationships. There was a study done by Gallup, and they found that employees with strong work relationships were 50% less likely to quit. And then the fourth, and this is what I think is the most important, is subscribe to this channel, because that's what this channel is all about. People skills don't come from charm. They don't come from charisma. People skills are about understanding people. That's something AI can't do. Understanding people allows you to connect deeply with them. And this is as true in your professional life as it is in your personal life, like in your marriage or in your friendship. So here's the takeaway. AI may be replacing tasks, but it can't replace emotional intelligence. Things like trust and empathy and human connection. This isn't just about job security. It's also about becoming the kind of person that people want to work with and the kind of person that people want to follow and keep around. So start this week. Maybe in your next conversation, listen a little more than you speak. Notice someone's effort and say thank you to them and see what changes. If you like this video, I would appreciate it if you'd hit the like button, share it with somebody else, and comment about a time a human interaction made a difference to you at work, or maybe comment about your own concerns about AI and how it may affect your job or career. And if this video opened your eyes, of course, please subscribe. And remember, when you understand people, you don't just protect your career, you build relationships that make work worth doing. And I should mention that one of the tragic mistakes that people often make when they think about emotional intelligence and empathy is that they think that they're supposed to be nice all the time. That's a trap. And if you don't watch this video, you may end up falling into that trap. So make sure you check it out, the nice person trap. Grace and peace to you, and I'll see you in the next video.